Hello, everybody. This is Chief Kevin Fallier, once again with Behind the Badge Melrose Edition. We are fortunate enough today to have in-studio Officer Tommy Grant. And the reason why we're doing this podcast, and we apologize we haven't done one in a while, but we will be back in full force, trust me, is Tommy Grant was selected recently as one of our new school resource officers, also known as an SRO. And we thought here at Behind the Badge this would be a good opportunity to introduce Tommy, get a little background on him, on the process, on selection of the SRO, why he wanted to become an SRO, and just kind of have an open, fluid conversation with Tommy. So what I'd like to do first is ask you, Tommy, number one, what made you want to be a school resource officer, right? This isn't new. You probably went through this through the interview process. Yeah. But after that, we'll talk about the actual process. But I think first, I'd like you to share with the community, why did you put in for it? And prior to that, we want to congratulate Rob Mann, right? Absolutely. Who, big shoes to fill, going to be tough to fill, but I think he can do it. Longtime SRO with the city of Melrose, did everything for us, and we're going to miss him. He retired recently. So that's why you're here. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe why you put in for the job.
Yeah. So I'm a Melrose kid. I went to Melrose public schools. I went to the Horace Mann, Melrose Middle School, Melrose High School. I also worked with the city of Melrose at education stations and Campus Kids, which is working with the kids.
Nice.
And I think that's what got me the interest in putting in for SRO, because I worked there for about 7 years. 7 years, yeah. I started in high school, actually.
Wow.
And then I enjoyed working with the kids, meeting the families, and I mean, I still have great relationships with these families today. I'm one of the first groups I had just graduated the high school, so that was a little crazy. I went over to the Winthrop and took a picture with them, and I still have great relationships with them. So yeah, I think why I want to be an SRO is exactly what I said, just being there with the kids, watching them grow and having these relationships with the families and everything, but also just being there as a mentor. I like being a mentor for the kids and everything. When I'm on patrol, I even stop by the parks and everything, shoot some hoops with them, or just talk with them and give them stickers that we have, the little badge stickers that we have. So yeah, it'll be fun. Like you said, big shoes to fill though, Rob, man. He was there when I was in high school.
Figuratively and literally,
yeah,
right? Big shoes to fill. No, but you know what? I think you just hit on a key term, Tommy, and that's mentor, right? Yeah. I mean, everything we do from, criminal enforcement to helping people outside of the criminal justice system, we're role models, we're mentors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've been on record before in saying this, and I think you agree with me, is the kids, the young generation are the new police officers for us down the road, right? You're going to be here. You're going to be here a lot longer than I am. So it wouldn't it be cool one day, right, for one of these kids that you're mentoring in the schools or at the JPA, right, the Junior Police Academy, you're heavily involved in that, to have them eventually one day be your partner, right? Yep. Or you're training them wearing the blue uniform. Yeah. I think that was an excellent answer. Can you walk me through some of the training requirements? And if you're not fully aware, because you're new, I can assist you on that. But you know what's required through, number one, you can't just become a school resource officer, right? You have to go to specific training. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I went to a 5-day SRO training. It's called NASRO, 5-day training, Monday through Friday. And I went to the Linfield one. Mm-hmm. Well, they kind of brief you what the job's about, and how to go about certain situations and all that, and what you can do, what you can't do, the limitations of school administration versus SRO, because we're more of the police side, obviously. Mm-hmm. But the 5-day of that, and then I have a 2-day training that I also have to attend.
Right. And I think there's also an additional component of mental health training now that they added through MPTC, which is the training committee that oversees police officers. One other important thing I think that the community needs to know is you also need to be post-certified as a school resource officer. And for those people who don't know, POST is the Peace Officers Standards and Trainings Committee that gives us certification to actually do our job, right? This is relatively new within the last 3 to 5 years, I believe, where we are now required to be certified through the state. And if we mess up, right, or if we do something wrong, they have the ability to pull that from us, right, through a process. Got to be fair. But one of the additions, one of the new things they did, that they required school resource officers to be not only post-certified as a police officer, but also as a school resource officer. So We had to apply for that. You got certified for that, which to me, every job in the police department is important. You agree with that?
Oh, of course.
Right? I mean, you get your detectives, you get your patrol officers who do, the frontline work. But until somebody does the job that you're walking into, I don't think many people appreciate how difficult this job could be.
Oh, yeah.
The SRO job.
Yeah.
Maybe Mike Plummer knows,
Mike,
and Rob Mann knows. It's a whole different world, right?
Sure.
So you're going to be dealing with school-age children, obviously, parents, administrators, athletic instructors, you name it, right? So there's many hats you have to wear. Why do you think you can do a good job at that?
Well, I think my personality, I can talk to basically anybody. And like I said, I worked in the schools before. I've dealt with the parents, I've dealt with the kids, I've dealt with the staff. And like I said, I went to Melrose Public Schools, so I know some staff that's still around.
I think that's important.
Yeah. So having a relationship with them on this end, like a professional as an adult instead of a student, it'll be good. I'll build some great relationships with them. So.
And when we went through this sort of selection process, I know you shared a couple stories, and I won't ask you to repeat them because some of them are, I wouldn't say confidential, but there were some good stories that were shared from you to us, and also I have some letters from community members kind of indicating what you had stated earlier about your stopping to play basketball or street hockey or just talking to kids in the street. We get those letters, and as a chief, we love those as the command staff, as your sergeant, as the lieutenant. We love when we get those because we very rarely hear about the good stuff, right? We don't look for it, we don't want it, but when we get it, and I can say that you had a bunch of those in your folder. So walk us through, and I can help you if you forget, the process on how the department selected you.
Yeah. So obviously Rob Mann retired, Officer Mann retired. He was great as the SRO, but we knew he was going on to his next chapter. So Chief Fowler put out a letter of intent who was interested.
That's me.
Yep. For who wants to be the school resource officer. And there was a few of us that put in for it, a good amount of us. And I put in for it. You basically write your qualifications, why you think you would be good at the job and all that stuff. And then we went through the interview process.
Can you tell who was involved in that interview process?
So we had the superintendent, we had the middle school principal, Officer Mann, who was the school resource officer that was leaving, Lieutenant Norton, and Chief Fowler. So yeah, it was a good board to be in front of. But yeah, the interview process was good. It was kind of like this, just asking what your qualifications, why you think you'd be good at it, certain situations, your background, and all that. But it was a good process to go through. I'm glad I went through it.
And we as a department, and I think the members of the community should be proud too, because like you said, there were a good handful of officers. And
they were all great.
And that was the feedback that I got. Obviously, it was a difficult decision, but Superintendent Massero at the time and Mr. Murphy, the principal, like what stood out to me was what they had said after the interview process, when all the candidates left and we had our closed door meeting to discuss everybody. To a man or to a woman, both of them had said, I'm very impressed with the qualities of your police officers as far as education goes, background, training, and me and Lieutenant Norton, we're impressed too, but we're kind of used to it, right? We know what you guys bring to the table.
Yep.
Sometimes people don't know that, and I thought it was a good idea. It's not only an idea, it's actually suggested, but it was very important for me to have the superintendent at the time and the principal of the school that you're going to be going into to be integral in the selection process. And all the candidates were excellent.
Yeah, they were great.
I don't think there was a bad choice amongst all of them. Just fortunately, obviously, you got the job and we're excited for that. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that you're nervous about, right? I mean, you're also going to be starting sometime in mid-October. School started already. Just a little side note to that. Officer Plummer is still in the schools, right? He's doing the middle school and the high school.
Yep.
We have some staffing issues. We got 3 officers in recruit training. They're going to be done at the end of September, early October. Once they're done with their training, they're going to be able to fill your slot, and I'll be able to put you into the schools. So I want to thank the school department and the current superintendent, Adam Delaney, and Mr. Murphy for understanding that. But you're going to be going in pretty soon in October.
Yeah, I'll be in the school in October, and I actually just left there. I went over there and said hi to everyone.
Nice.
They had the high school had a fire drill or an evacuation drill of some sort. So I went over there and assisted that. And then I went to the middle school. I saw Mr. Murphy and Ms. Suick, and we were just talking. I was asking them how the school year was going so far. I mean, it's only 4 or 5 days in, but they said it was going pretty smooth, and they're excited. I'm excited, so it'll be good.
Good, and I know we did that at the end of last school year. We tried to integrate you into the school almost on a field training aspect, right?
And that was good too.
Where you shadowed Officer Mann and Officer Plummer to get the lowdown of the school, meet the administrators. Think about it. It's like your first day of school.
I know. It's
right?
like,
You're nervous again.
I'm going to a whole new building, new staff and everything. But everyone over there seems great, and
good.
It's going to be a good experience.
Good. Well, we're very excited to have you, Tommy. We wanted to take this moment again to introduce Officer Grant to the community. Most people know him, some don't. Those of you who are listening, school-age children, parents, any questions at all, please reach out to the school department, myself, Officer Grant, Officer Plummer. Those are our 2 dedicated school resource officers, both of whom cover the high school and the middle school full-time, right? That's where your offices are. But we obviously assist with elementary schools. Any issues, you guys hop in your cruiser, you drive over there, off-duty, off-school hours incidents, you guys are very involved.
Absolutely.
And what is the thing that I always like to preach about everything about us? And you're looking at me like you don't know it. It was kind of an odd question. Stay in our lane, right?
Yes.
I say that often, and I'll just reiterate before we close. School resource officer, we sign a school resource officer memorandum with the school department.
Yes.
It clearly outlines what your role is. We're not here to lock kids up.
Oh, no.
We're not here to drag them through the criminal justice system. We're here to help.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, sometimes that has to happen.
Yep.
But we don't enforce school rules. We don't punish kids for running down the hall. We don't do any of that. We're there to mentor. We're there to keep the schools safe, and we're there to keep communication ongoing between school community and the police department to best serve the community.
Absolutely.
So, congratulations, Tommy. Once
Thank you.
again, we're looking forward to you doing good work, and we want to thank you all for tuning in. And we'll be back hopefully next month, but it will be more regular, I can promise you that.